Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're hailing from. Welcome to the Level Up Hour here on OpenShift TV. I am Chris Short, Principal Technical Marketing Manager here at Red Hat, also the producer of this wonderful thing we call OpenShift TV. Check us out at OpenShiftTV.com or OpenShift.tv. That is an actual domain name now. Tells you how old I am.
I'm pretty sure OpenShift.com is a domain as well.
OpenShift.com is also a domain, and actually OpenShift.tv sends you to OpenShift.com/streaming, so you can take the shortcut if you want to. So today we've got Langdon White. It's the Level Up Hour. Langdon, you want to say hello? Talk about what we're talking about today?
Yes, and of course, how much I missed you all last week when we were doing DevConf instead. So I'm Langdon White. I am on Chris's team. We're another technical marketing manager. I've been doing some Rel stuff here and there for a few years, and now doing more. Actually, always been doing containers for a long time now. Thank you, JP Dade. We should do that DevConf thing pretty regularly. Oh wait, we do it every year.
We do it every year, but we don't do it virtually every year.
That's true. That's true. Although I'm really looking forward to how conferences change. No, and like I'm thinking that there should be a virtual component to every in-person conference going forward. So that
that's interesting you mentioned that, because that is actually Max's school is, my son's school is a co-op, and my wife is on the board. So they have decided to do a smaller in-person component that's very isolated and has, like, the families have to follow a certain set of rules, under which I'm under. And then there's a hybrid component. So the actual OpenShift.tv setup went on the road to the school to do the beginning of year school meeting all at once, so that everybody could be included. It worked. It worked well, right?
I really wish more tech people were getting involved with supporting like schools in those meetings or whatever. Like the number of times I've tweeted out and like showed and said something kind of argumentative about like, why are so many of these meetings, both actually governmental as well as like school, but like limited in headcount, when you could just be doing YouTube Live or whatever, or Twitch and broadcasting it to everybody.
Right.
Sure, you have a limited number who can ask questions, because that's a little bit harder. But I mean, a Twitch stream could handle thousands, and they're limiting them to 300 people in a Zoom call.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because next week we will actually be doing the what's new in OpenShift 4.6.
That's right.
We usually do that call internally only. So this time we're actually going to release it to the field and y'all here on OpenShift TV at the exact same time.
I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be
an experiment. We're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. We're concerned about how the field feels about it, and like everyone should tune in for that, because guess what? You will know what's coming in OpenShift 4.6 at the same time as everyone else does.
Right.
That's the most beautiful part. Yeah. Well, the engineers know, right? Like, and the PMs know, and like everybody knows the feature set, but this will actually be the polished final GA kind of here's what's new kind of thing.
Well, and what made it, right? Which is always the question, right? It's like with any software,
Yeah, exactly. So Narindev asked, what is fields? And when we say the field at Red Hat, we mean like our solutions architects, our sales folks, our people that are out there helping customers day to day, right? So that goes from support all the way up to, folks like me and everyone else, right? Because there'll be certain people on our team, Langan, that'll learn about a feature for the first time.
Oh, certainly.
On that call. Right, because there's so much stuff going on. Yeah,
right.
So we've actually opened up an internal meeting to the public. Yeah, essentially.
And just by way of context, Narendev, field is not it's not a Red Hatism. It's a very common corporate America term, for basically that kind of sales organization, whatever that looks like. And basically it comes from them being in the field, which means actually connecting
hands-on keyboards with customers kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's dive into what we're talking about today.
Well, we always have to start with slides, because otherwise it wouldn't feel like
we've got to get our context. And thank you for following person whose name I can't say. So thank you for following. I appreciate that. I just saw the graphic go off. So
yeah, me too.
Thank you.
All right.
So let's see. Slides I see. Cool.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. because Twitch is a little
You weren't
behind.
expecting that.
I was like, oh, technology is working for me. Although, I shared the window instead of sharing the screen, but
Oh, well, now you can't tab.
Okay.
So sorry.
That's all right. Okay, so the Level Up Hour, in case you were lost, that's what this show is. Hopefully, my sound is better today. From doing the show notes for 2 weeks ago, yeah, I did not sound good. So hopefully, I sound better today.
You're kind of sounding quieter now all of a sudden. So
well, maybe if I was louder. How's that? Is that better?
That's great. Perfect. Yeah, here
awesome.
we go.
All right, it'll probably auto adjust in a minute and screw it up.
Yep.
So we always say follow us on Twitter, and I make regular announcements about the show. Ask us questions there or things you might want to see about the show. You could also find us. Oh yeah. Don't you have a hotkey for it?
I do have a hotkey for it. Let me see. My brain is not awake yet this morning, folks. I apologize.
Oh boy.
Oh, you did that. Oh, sweet internet points now, folks.
Apparently, we're doing it.
Well, Alexa, cancel reminder.
I don't think we should go into them. I think we should just leave it there, and we'll put it up again. I think we should wait for the reminder because I want that moment. So we're just gonna run with it. I say we're not doing them yet.
All right. Alexa says there's no reminder scheduled anyway, so this is gonna be fun.
There is the actual Discord link.
Jesus. Okay. Anyways.
All right. So today we are going to talk about basically a continuation from last week of how do we make the pod-yaml play, like how do we make Podman play cube? It's got such a weird name. Work, because we had trouble with it last time. And as always, the show notes are up in the GitHub repo, which one of these days I really, really should turn into like a proper website. But that's the way it is. So check that out. Feel free to leave issues or comments or whatever if there was anything that you thought we should have. There's video highlights there, etc. And that's it for that segment. Let's share differently.
Okay. So JP Dade is doing his thing. I love you, JP Dade. So when are Windows worker nodes going to be supported in OCP? Well, my answer, InfoSec 812. It seems like you're a Red Hat employee. Please identify yourself if you are. If you're not, I can tell you that it is actively being worked on, but it is a multi-vendor thing, right? Like we have to work with Microsoft on this. So it takes time, right? Like moving code within multiple organizations actually takes time. And as you can imagine, there's some incentive for, Microsoft to, potentially, there's some word going around that they might be developing their own Linux-based like hypervisor thing. So it could be that like they might be spending more engineering time on that as opposed to helping us get, OpenShift worker nodes working or whatever the problem may be. When Mike Barrett was on last week, JP Day, that was the person to ask. So I will go ask him.
Personally, I think you should make him come on the show again, and you can just make the whole show about when do we get Windows?
When do we get this?
right.
Explaining the whole process of how we get to this.
Okay, so I should have shared the screen. Unfortunately, it popped such that, oh boy, technology is seriously defeating me today. Let's put that down there, and then hopefully that'll be less confusing for at least me. Okay, should we get into it?
Mm-hmm. Let's get it. If JP Dade has more questions, JP, you know where to find me.
Exactly.
I will go find Mike Barrett. Don't email Mike Barrett directly. I will find him. I will ask him the question. I will get you the answer, I promise.
Right. Which will probably be someday.
In the future, yes. What is that famous Einstein quote about the future that they always use in Civilization? I never worry about the future. It's just a day away or whatever.
Oh, I don't know that one. I like the time
quote,
traveler one, that you get, you throw a party for all the time travelers, and if no one shows up, time travel doesn't exist.
Okay, I can go with that.
Right, you don't tell anybody about the party.
Right, you just say like, yeah, okay.
Right, and then you announce it after the party is over, and then of course time travel doesn't exist if nobody comes. On the flip side, it could just be that you throw bad parties. Who knows?
Which
All
is
right.
entirely possible. But my wife's birthday party was dope this weekend. So if
Oh,
I would have
good.
told people to come to that as a time traveler thing, show up to that.
All right. We're on episode, is this 9? Good gracious, we've been doing a
Sure.
bunch of these.
I thought you had a GitHub repo for that.
Exactly.
Here's the quote. Narendev found it for me. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. Thank you, Narendev.
There we
We
go.
really appreciate it. Because that is the most, that is the biggest thing, right? Like, I get it. People are they're dealing with obsolete technologies sometimes in the Windows world when it comes to containers, and people are frustrated, and I get it. I know. I feel your pain. Trust me, I feel your pain. I have to feel this. I feel the pain too, right? Like, I have a small data center technically in my house now, right? Like, so the enhancements that we're working on are there in GitHub as InfoSec 812 points out, and I will get you an answer from Mike Barrett. He is typing right now, unless he completely ducks me and is like, rah, 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 rah. We'll see.
Sure, let's see. So I was trying to figure out how to demonstrate this, but let's do it this way. My naming convention, I think, is incredibly hard to type, which was probably a mistake on my part.
Well, you
because
did
you
the
can't like
TV
tab
way.
completion. Yeah, but you can't tab complete anything, you know? All right, so
not until you get in like season 12.
well, that's true. Right. So now we have, okay, so let's see what we have already, because I can't necessarily remember what we left. But so if you recall, if we add a -p, it will show us the name of any pods that are created. Looks like we don't have anything there so far, so we're just gonna create our pods again, or our pod again. And oh my goodness, I need more coffee.
Yeah, me
So
too.
run. So we do Podman run, but we're going to start adding the minus. Is it -p? No, I think it's --pod. Tools pod, and -d, -t, and then we need data. I wonder if we could have it in the scroll back. I bet not. Yeah. Okay, so then we're going to say -v, and we're going to do backtick pwd data mount data, and then we're going to say -v backtick pwd. Oh boy, pwd data keys. I really can't type today. And then
JP data, I have your answer already.
Well, go ahead, because I'm just typing at this point.
Yeah. So from Mike directly, it looks like we're trying to get something out by the end of the year and the beginning of next year. But we should see community versions of the operator and operator hub in the middle of October. So you can start kicking the tires on it. Sounds like pretty soon, right? Like, at the very least, get ready for the GA release.
Well, that's positive.
Yeah, it's super positive. That's more progress than I was expecting.
Yeah, right.
No offense to Red Hat or anything else, but like, this has been a process, folks. Let me tell you, I've been trying to stay away from it. So anytime I ask her questions like, am I poking the bear or have we made progress?
All right, and then we're going to do our kind of data interaction layer here, and we're going to put this other container in the pod. All right, so now we have two pods connected together using the volumes from command, two containers connected together using volumes from inside of a pod called tools pod, which is what we did last time. The temptation to say last week is very high. So now what we can do is we can generate our YAML again.
Generating the YAML. It's the generating YAML song.
I love
Y'all can
that
tell me to
song.
shut up anytime, every day.
I've played that song so many times. All right.
I love the YAML building song.
Exactly. All right, so here's our YAML file. Just kind of revisiting that it's it just creates a description in Kubernetes YAML. And should we say Kubernetes or should we say Kubernetes?
Kubernetes.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of like SOA versus SOA. No, it's SOA, please. Okay, so we have our containers described in here. The one container points at the other containers for its volumes, and then the volumes are mounted from a particular place that is something to keep in mind because we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But now, here is the trickeryness. Let me just find my links here. So what I discovered, so first what we have to do is, I actually wanted to point out one quick thing because I didn't know you could do this.
What didn't you know? What didn't the great
know.
Langdon know?
There's lots and lots I don't know. All right, so just to confirm, we have our two directories, mounted across, right? And I won't bother to touch it. But one of the things we talked about a couple weeks ago was
I
what
just want to. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Accessibility colors of your font. Is it too small, folks? Let us know. Are people having a problem reading it?
I actually these
I thought you had
fact for
color
that.
blindness issues and verified this.
Oh no, actually I don't.
Okay.
But I did do some reading to try to choose the right thing. I actually prefer like a green on black text,
which is awful. So
yeah, awful on screen. I think it's really good for me.
For you, yeah. Like
exactly.
it's not great for this. Yeah.
So the background color of the terminal is too light. Well, I'm not sure. Do we want to futz with that now? I could try futzing with it. Let's see what it looks like. See, I even have a profile labeled video. I'm trying to remember how this. Oh, so this is straight up solarized. So I can.
So I don't think solarized is an accessible theme.
Really? I thought that's the whole point of it was.
Can you get Dracula color theme? Or dark, not Dracula, Darkula, Darcula.
Let's.
Terminal color is the background color of your terminal is too light, is what Narindev is complaining about.
Right.
Or not, so not complaining about, but pointing out. I'm sorry, Narindev. I did not mean to say complaining. That was totally a mistake on my part. It is too light with the text, right? So I think if you just darken the text, you'd be okay.
Let's see if we can do maybe a bit of both. Is that better? I don't know. Let me make the background a little lighter. How's that? Any better?
I mean, it's kind of shaded, and like you got to turn off the settings for me to actually see it.
Oh yeah.
That is definitely darker on lighter to me. It is more standoutish to my vision. So Larindev, let us know. We'll continue forward, and if there's a problem, we can move forward. But this was actually a question I was going to put out on Twitter today. What theme do you use when you're live streaming? What font do you use when you're live streaming? Because later today, I might be terminaling on the live stream. So yeah, I haven't done that yet because I got behind today.
So the research that I did said that you should, generally speaking, use straight up black on white.
Right.
The thing that I was trying to darken it up a little bit just because otherwise it's really hard on my eyes. So I think it's very, very bright. So that's why it was a bit darker. But we'll play with this. I'll try to remember to save this theme before I close this window later today.
Yes.
But we'll give this a whirl and see how it goes. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
And Narindev, let us know, please.
Yes. And anyone else who has an opinion. So we know that there is our. Oh, I'm inside the pod. Okay, so what I was talking about was, or I'm inside the container. Now I'm going to mix up those terms all the time. You know it. All right. So one of the things I said a couple weeks ago was you got to be careful here because you don't want to exit out of this container, because then it will turn off the container. However, I recently discovered a nice little feature of it being in a pod. So I accidentally did an exit. So if I do podman ps p all, you'll see that it was exited, and that's no good for my pod because I want it to be running. So what I discovered is you can do restart. And assuming I did that correctly, and look at that, it's back. And so, which is a lot harder to do with a container in my experience. I don't know, maybe I just don't do it that much. But with a pod, it's a nice little fancy feature. So what we're actually trying to do is we want to, I already did the YAML. So we're going to actually just delete this whole pod, and say pod rm -f tools pod. Every time I type rm -f, my fingers get afraid, because I'm afraid I'm going to like wipe out my OS. And so we're going to kill the whole pod. And just to confirm it's gone, yeah, it's gone. Now we're going to try to play our YAML file. And so we get an error there. And upon some further research, I discovered why that is. And here is the bug report, which is, I think, every engineer's favorite kind of bug report. Files relatively in-depth bug about this exact issue,
Right.
then comes back later and says, "Oh, fixed it."
And doesn't tell anybody why.
No, he does.
Oh,
Or
thank God.
they do. I have no idea whether Zav Loose is a male or female name. So basically, you can't launch a container in, kind of via the cube like pattern with a tag of latest. So
Interesting. Okay.
if you look in, actually, let me do it with VI and then we can edit it. So basically, and we were on the right track 2 weeks ago to discover this problem, because we thought it was actually the registry declaration that was the problem. But in fact, I mean, it is a problem with the image. So on a lark, I just removed the tag, which is kind of interesting because this will work, but it kind of seems to defeat the whole point. So my assumption is that the goal is to make you be declarative about which exact, and we've talked about tags before, which exact version of the container image that you actually want to consume in this case. So not generate, play. So now if we run the exact same thing, oh right, but it has another feature that if you try it and it fails, it still creates it enough that you have to destroy it. But now we can play it, and it should just work. And we get a nice, we get an ID for the pod, and then we get IDs for the containers themselves. If we say podman psp all, we see that it has actually created, sorry, my eyes are watering, created the containers as we hoped. So this doesn't work the way I expect, for, as I said, a couple of reasons. One, I think anything I generate from a tool should immediately be consumable by a tool. And second, I don't think that the kind of, if you're removing colon latest, like what exactly are you implying? Like you should either be saying you have to give a tag, or you don't have to give a tag. And it kind of is a little
choose.
bit both. Right. But it can't really be both. So I spent a while and wrote this long ticket about this problem. As you can see here, I experimented on both Fedora and on RHEL just to make sure it wasn't like a
Wasn't like
bug,
a
an issue or something that they've changed since then. and but it's still the same on Fedora 32, which is the latest, current release of Fedora, with the latest Podman 2 something or another here.
Right.
So I filed an issue with that, because
Okay. That's fair.
yeah. Let's see what the response is. Given how usually fast they are to respond, I'm actually slightly surprised I didn't already get some feedback on this. All right, so that was
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
So the next problem. So did we cover what you proposed we should cover about this situation from 2 weeks ago?
Well, I mean, I just want to say, like, here's the YAML that you would use in, a Kubernetes pod and just do that with Podman, right? Like that was my goal. And if we have done that,
Right.
I'm good. If you had a cluster where you could say, okay, we're going to take this pod and put it on the cluster now, that'd be dope. Like if you could spin up Minikube.
We are going to do something similar,
Okay,
actually, right now.
that works.
Not quite that, partially because what I haven't done a lot of experimentation with is basically getting those the data bindings or the volume bindings into that YAML, and I wanted to play around with seeing if Podman will do it for me, but I haven't done that yet. So we're going to do kind of a step on the way there, but not that step yet. So on that note, I have created. So this happens to be running on Fedora. It doesn't have to be. It's just the one I had lying around.
Right.
But I am running CRC, which is CodeReady containers.
I have a link for that. Let me grab it.
A bunch of stuff for
Actually, you
Red
could
Hat.
just get to it by going to our try link. Sorry.
Oh, try.OpenShift.
Yeah.
So basically, so CodeReady containers, a lot of the developer stuff in Red Hat land is now prefixed or labeled or whatever with the single word CodeReady as one word. So that's why like the rel developer focused libraries or whatever are called is called the CodeReady repo now.
Right.
We have CodeReady containers, we have CodeReady workspaces. So basically, it's kind of like trying to indicate, here's a brand where all the developer focused components are.
Right.
So CRC is a running instance of OpenShift that you can kind of just deploy on your own. It doesn't require a license and, all that stuff. So I'm just running this for the sake of this conversation. And let's just see.
So CRC is a way to get your hands on OpenShift before you actually deploy like a full-blown OpenShift stack, right? Like
Exactly.
We did, and Narendev does point out we did have an awesome stream on CRC extension for VS Code and its smooth installation and was mind-blowing, which is right. I will go find that in our archives. Thank you for reminding me, Narendev, because that was like the VS Code OpenShift connector now will actually just be like click CRC instance available in your IDE. So it's like, whoa.
I haven't actually tried that. I should go.
Yeah, like it's really cool, dude.
I periodically kind of go and grab the OpenShift, plugins for VS Code, and then I use them for a while, and then I do something else and just
right. Like I go off to some other experiment, and then
right,
that's exactly how I am. Yeah.
So one thing that I have done is CRC is normally bound to localhost, so I did some fancy routing so that I can. So what's going on here is I have my local laptop, which is I'm SSHing to a server, which then in turn is running two virtual machines. One is this Rel 8 base one that I've talked about before, and then one is another virtual machine running CRC. And then in order to get the routing so that the CRC can be reached from other points on my network, I basically just this is going to get a little bit complicated, but basically Network Manager has multiple choices for how, not there, just the directory? Oh, conf. For how to do DNS. One of the non-default choices, is using DNS mask. Sorry, that's at the bottom of the screen, but that's less for you. So what this does is just say, network manager, please use DNS mask for any DNS related activity. Then I add in some routing by adding in a conf file here. Ignore the other one. I have 2 copies of CRC. One that you can launch with Vagrant if you're interested. It's there's a repo for it. But this one was a straight install because I wanted to do it with Rel. And I'm having trouble with Vagrant on Rel right now. So got some routing, yay. And so now what that means is I can do this, and
I can get
ignore
this
all the
warning,
right, exactly.
which is because of a self-signed cert. But yeah, well, you can do this.
But as a programmer, you're used to that,
yeah,
right?
you're dealing with self-signed search all the time, unless you're really, really diligent about using Let's Encrypt and have some mechanism of doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe we should file a bug about CRC having a Let's Encrypt cert.
That would that would be a lot of like churn in the Let's Encrypt world. I don't know if that'd be healthy for that team. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I don't know, man.
So by default, you get 2 accounts on this instance, right? One that is the kube-admin, and then one which is just this kind of developer account. Point being, I just wanted to show you I logged in. I have the platform there. But then what I want to do is I want a place to store my container so that I can use this YAML with Podman elsewhere on my network, right? So in order to do that, I need to put those containers in a shared place. And we talked about this a bit a few episodes ago. But I wanted to show kind of doing it with OpenShift because by default, the OpenShift registry is locked to OpenShift itself, for security reasons, obviously. But I wanted to kind of go through how you would open it up, and then you can use it elsewhere. And so what we do, and I really don't care if you see the passwords, good luck getting to that machine.
Right. Yeah.
So, if it's even around in like 3 hours. But the point being is that whenever you create a new CRC instance, it generates passwords for you so that you can access it. And
you got to have that access to, like if you're going to stand up a Kubernetes instance on your local host, you kind of want kube-admin.
Yeah, right, exactly. This is better than it used to be though, because it used to be a non-generated password. It was like the default password
right,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
So that's better. All right, so then we need. I'm sorry, just looking at my notes. I knew I had to step out of order. So what we do is then we need to essentially set some policy statements. So basically, we need to add this registry viewer policy to, or the role really, right, but as a policy to the developer user. So just, the user is actually called developer. So that's why that's there. It's not like some class of user or something like that. So we add the registry viewer, and then because we want to be able to push to it, we also need to add the registry editor role. And so we do that. But then the next step, which can be a little bit confusing, I think, is that now we need to go find out what is the name of the registry, because it's not going to be the same as like the name of the console or the name of the API, right? It's going to be its own address. And so, and at least I think the nice thing about OpenShift is it does most of its routing essentially through DNS. So you just have to, find out what those names are. So what we do is we switch to the OpenShift image registry project, excuse me, and then we ask for the route to that thing, right, or to the registry. And so that's what this one's doing. There's a weird, there's no nice hard return there, unfortunately. And I put this in my notes because we didn't want to see me messing with JSON paths again, like we did a few episodes ago. So if you see here, that's the name, like the DNS name of our registry.
Which is local, which is just on your box. Like,
Right.
it's
Well,
not
it's on
going
the
to work.
CRC box, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I am just going to give that handle. Let me just make sure that's not like taken or something. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a name just so I don't have to remember to type it.
I am really
time.
perturbed I can't find this one OpenShift connector show because it answers all of our questions.
Oh well, that makes everything easier.
As far as like getting just
Oops.
OpenShift up and running, or CRC up and running. I mean, nope, that's not it.
All right, so we created an environment variable just called registry just to make things a little bit easier. So now, and I may have already done this, but we can take a look. So as we discussed a few episodes ago, if you want to push an image to somewhere else, you need to. Oh, sorry, I'm going to cough again. You can
please cough away.
exactly. You need to tag it with the like target. Okay, so we have our simpler tools, but currently it's tagged with localhost, which means it's not going to be available, or you can't push it into that registry because it doesn't have that name. However, during preparing for the show, I did that, but I'm just going to do it again just so you can see how to do it.
Right, that makes sense.
And so you just kind of give it what you have and then what you want it to be, but we can cheat now. You would think it would be a nice cheat, except I can't type.
Nice.
And that should have given us no change at all
Right.
because we already had it tagged, right? However, what we can, or what we need to also do is also tag our data container. And now we should see two data containers. Here's the localhost data container, and then here is our registry data container. Now we can push. Oh, let's see. Actually, who are we? So one of the handy, useful commands is to find out who I am. So I don't actually want to be kube admin. I want to log in as the developer account, right? So I think it's OC, who am I, minus T? Yes. So now we do OC login, CU developer. Anybody know what the password is? Or the flag is? It might be that.
Wait. No.
Actually, sorry, it's not OC login.
No,
It's
it'll
Podman
ask you
login.
for the password. I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
So
OC login done. Right, like you got to put in the whole path and everything, and then ask you for password.
right. So what? So yeah, but I was going down kind of the wrong path because I don't want to use OC to push it. I want to use Podman to push it into the OC or into the OpenShift registry, right? So I need to do a Podman login, except I have to pass it a bunch of weird flags. First of all, going back to our let's encrypt problem, we want to say TLS verify false, maybe. And then we want to say -u, and we're going to say developer. Then we want to say, I think it's just -p. I have a place I can look it up if we need to, because I wrote a lab that does this, but I don't do it often enough to like remember exactly how to do it. So who am I? OC, who am I? And we give it a -t, which will actually give us the token, a token for login rather than a password for login. And in order to log into the registry, you have to use the token, not a real password, just to make things a little bit more confusing.
Just to make things more secure.
Right. What did I do wrong? Do I need backticks? My advanced bash skills are sometimes weak.
You do not need backticks in there.
Where is?
You need to
Oh,
drop
I need
the quotes, I think.
I need an equal on the false. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
that'll do it.
yep, and that was, I think, my only error. If anyone's interested, I am pulling this content. I will throw it in the chat from this lab I did for one of the Red Hat summits. So theoretically,
nice.
that'll work. Nope.
Okay. No. Okay. Cool. Not going to
wrong?
work. All right. Here we go.
Yeah,
Breaking
yeah.
stuff. And yeah. And Narinder found our thread or our stream on the OpenShift connector. Thank you, Narinder. I was on the path, but I'm trying to like
Pay
do
attention.
multiple things at once. Yeah.
All right, so I finally figured out I needed parens, not squigglies. So, but as you can see, my login succeeded, right? So now I actually have access to that registry, and so we can let's cheat by cutting and
Cheating?
pasting. What?
Fine.
I
don't care.
Actually, we could just do $registry.
And you know what, Narindev? I'm actually going to drop this in my pocket and Instapaper things so I don't forget it, because I feel like it would be useful to just, have at the ready, which means it might turn into a bot command even. So yeah. Want to get started super quick with CRC. Dun.
Uh-oh, I'm doing something wrong.
Well, invalid. It must be of the format project/name. So.
Oh, I need to give a project name.
Yeah. Like.
So let's say, do I need to? And I need to do it as developer, right? So
I think so.
We'll remember where. Yes. All right, and then let's say OC just create, right? And then, do I need to say project or is it just create? I think it's just create.
No, it's OC new -project.
Oh, okay. And then we're gonna say
project name.
Let's just call it tools.
Not empty squad.
I feel like I've missed a goal.
Nope. It's fine. Don't go back.
All right.
Do it.
So we got the project. Yeah, I was looking to make sure I didn't get an error. All right. So now we have a namespace to put it in, and it should. The thing is, my tag might be wrong now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. See, I got ahead of myself, and this is what happens. And again, we're not actually kind of doing anything. We're just relabeling our existing images. We only have one copy on disk, all that stuff. All right, and there we go. Waiting patiently for our images to load or push.
Okay, I need to put you on mute for a second. Hang on.
No problem. All right. And now is when we need the Jeopardy music. And all right, and so now we want to push the other one.
Sorry.
All right. So now we have both those containers, or container images really, are in our registry. So we can now do cool things like, actually, I can't remember what we still have. Local. All right, so let's remove our tools pod. How about pod? Tools pod. And then what we can also do is now remove our images. Ooh, those got really long. So we're going to say RM. We're just going to do it with the code. I think this should work. With the like UUID. No, how about RMI. Yeah.
By the way, Narinda, or not Narinda, Waleed is in YouTube chat saying you need to enable anonymous push. I don't know how old that message was, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, you could enable anonymous push. Obviously, that just does open it up just for everybody, right?
Right.
So, do that with a grain of salt. With my CRC instance, I probably could, but I kind of wanted to show the right way of doing it. Should give it to certain users.
So, yeah, like a handoff way.
Right,
Yeah.
right. All right, so now we've gotten rid of our simpler tools and our data container. So what is cool is we can still play. Oh, sorry, need to do a modification though. And let's echo $registry just to make it in so we can get it in the buffer. All right. And then
can you hear the iMessage thing
can,
pinging in the background? Okay, let me mute
yes.
that. I'm sorry. It's my daughter.
Oops.
She likely has COVID and her test just came back negative, but there's a
Woo. Oh,
possibility of it being false positive that was indicated in the letter saying that it was negative. So yeah,
right.
trying to figure out a new testing site for her to go to, which is just a nightmare right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I almost forgot our tools because we put it in a namespace. So now that should be enough. And we can now Podman play. Oh, cube tools pod. And this should just work, but it doesn't. Oh, Oh, we could probably pass. Put it in the wrong place, probably. Oh.
Well, the good news is my daughter's super excited about school stuff, so she must be feeling a little better.
Is she also excited about watching the Level Up Hour? Because we should get her on the show.
Oh, well, I mean, I will tell her to tune in right now.
Right.
And let them, she won't see the past chat, but if I invite her to the Discord, she will. But like, even for her, right, like the live streaming stuff is still like she watches stuff on YouTube, but like the Twitch realm is still like kind of like, there's a lot of stuff going on over there, Dad.
Right. Not a big gamer.
Yes, you're right.
She needs to get more into gaming, I guess.
Well, and it's just like she's going down this UX UI design pattern route, and it's awesome. The work she does, I mean, she's incredibly talented. So
why? That's a good point. Why don't we have a Patternfly Twitch show?
Well, yeah. Why don't
or
we
a UX
have?
Show?
Yeah, like Narinda, you're right. Yes, we do archive all the live stream chats, and that's for multiple reasons. But yeah, Dreams owner says Twitch chat and some channels overwhelms me as well. Yeah, so I don't blame you there at all. But no, we do have so we have the developer experience office hours where we talk about the dev console and the UI and UX behind that. And we're just adding Ali Mobram's team, the admin console UX UI side. That starts tomorrow, I think. Yeah, the future of OpenShift administration with PM and UXD, so UX design. Our team is coming on tomorrow at 11 a.m. to talk about the admin console. So we've got the dev console and the admin console of OpenShift covered. If there's any other UX or design elements you want covered, that'd be dope.
I was thinking like one about developing user experiences using the same tool chain we do for the OpenShift consoles, for example, which is this upstream open source project called Patternfly. That's kind of what I was thinking of.
Yeah, like that would be kind of like a great show, I feel like, because
Well,
I have
that
taken pattern
team,
fly kind of off the shelf and like done stuff with it, right? And like
right?
it's
Um,
looked good.
well, and that team does university workshops about like doing information architecture, ideation, refinement, turning that into projects, all that stuff. So I think that team would actually be great at doing a Twitch show about that, I think. So maybe we should go hassle them.
Yeah, if you have a connection on that team, link me up, please.
Yeah. All right, so back to the regularly scheduled programming. It worked. So we did have a little bit of a false start because of that self-signed cert problem. So we just need to include the TLS verify equals false. But as you can see, it pulled the containers from our registry and then deployed them as a pod. Nope. And
And this is why this whole show turned into another show last week or the week before last. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's basically what I wanted to cover. And so we will. I think we're going to step into the OpenShift side of things maybe next time,
Yeah.
unless there's something else that I come up
So
with that I want to cover first.
yeah, we've got 7 minutes left. I just wanted to let people
Got
know
to do some
that
points.
yeah, we got some sweet internet points we got to give out, right? Like let's hit it again real quick. And then I wanted to mention that the next show, we're going over a new tool that is coming out with 4.6. It's called the Assisted Installer for bare metal. And we might actually employ the assisted installer on my bare metal thing sitting across the house over there. So that could be a very interesting show for anybody that's interested in tuning in.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah.
All right. So, but maybe you should give out. We were talking about giving out internet points on other shows.
Oh boy, that don't get me started.
We
That's
definitely.
the whole legal thing, and it's the whole yeah. But yeah, like we need to get points, like
Yeah, but
like to mean something. I think it's just my
they
opinion,
do
right,
mean
right, right.
something.
They mean a lot to us,
Right.
but they need to have like some intrinsic value of some sort, right? Like
Beyond just
beyond you have the points,
right.
right. Like swag points are great,
Right.
but how do I use my swag points, right? Like that's my thing, right? Like great, we've got all these points or ways to correct points or ways to just blah. So conference points, yeah, that's a good idea, right? Like
Right.
you've kind of
Could be
used those,
confidence
you
points.
know. Yeah, confidence points, right? Like you've been on the show enough, right? Like you feel like you can, go run some pods and Kubernetes clusters on your own, right? Like
Right.
good indication, right? Like maybe we could make these points so popular, Langdon, that people put them on their resume.
Right. That I mean, I will say there's a lot of crazy plans I had for these points. So we'll see how much we can get to. All right.
OCP features points, right? Like the more points you have, the more feedback you get.
Right. How about the more value of your vote on
right. Yeah, on features. Yeah.
That seems like a terrible idea, but it'd be hilarious. All right. And here we go. As I indicated a few episodes ago, there
Wow.
were some
There's a
dark
point spread
horses.
happening here. Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
And so someone has revealed their dark horse status, and that is Noah Friction, which
Ah.
cracks me up. But Narendev, that is nothing to sneeze at. 900 points, and then
Yeah.
Joe Fuzz still holding strong at 400 points. We're starting to get a little bit of spread. We need to keep doing those points. We got to make sure we get up there. I will throw the details in the chat again, just in case anybody missed it. And there it is.
Thank you. Noah Friction. What is that from? Noah Friction.
I
Like
don't
that's
know.
got to be something.
I haven't seen it before. I thought it was just a play on words. So there's our internet points for this episode, and go collect some more because they're the best, and I think they're hilarious. And
hey, Noah. Noah's on Discord.
there we go.
Yeah.
And I actually remember looking at the points and giving those the points for joining the Discord to Noah.
Nice.
Or I saw that it was there. I had done it previously. Reminder, if you have joined the Discord and I haven't DM'd you the code to get the points for joining the Discord, just remind me, DM me, send me an email, hit me up on Twitter or whatever you like, and I will.
No meaning to the name for Noah Friction, by the way. Discord is blocked at JP Dade's work. Sorry, buddy. But it's not blocked on your phone.
Right. You can always.
You can always. Well, unless you're in a facility where you got to drop your phone off at the door. But yeah.
Right. Or do like consultants do, and just set yourself up an SSL proxy and route all your traffic through that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
I'm not saying
break your company's.
No, absolutely not. I've never set up an SSH tunnel to get traffic out to the world. No, never.
Specifically, remember, actually, one of the consulting companies I worked for moved their VPN tunnel to 443 so that you could connect to the VPN from behind firewalls. Yes, I will never admit who that was, though.
No.
And
JPD just said, no way.
There's probably a container for that. Could probably.
No, I know there's OpenVPN containers. There's what is it? The Outline is the VPN tool of choice that I use. It was designed by Google's Jigsaw Group for journalists. It's ease of use kind of thing, and But like, it's super easy to use, and it's packaged as an app image, which is technically a container. So yeah.
Right. Although not an OCI compliant one. The best.
No, which
unfortunately.
I think they need to work on that, but yeah, that's just my
opinion. Like if we could get some coalescing of app image snaps,
like
the one
single pane of glass, whatever you want to call it,
but flat packs, and then what's the other? There's another one too, right? I don't know.
There's flat pack snaps and brew install, that whole thing,
Well, that's a kind of quasi package manager. Yeah, that's the one on
Windows
Microsoft
world.
land.
Yeah.
Although Microsoft actually shipped one now, so Chocolatey is probably going away.
I wouldn't say they're going away. They've got a lot of penetration.
Or like some sort of merger or whatever. I'm just saying is that now that there's an official one. Hopefully there will be a lot more support for package management on Windows, right? Because
NuGet,
package management
Nugget, whatever they call it.
I think it's NuGet actually.
NuGet. Yeah.
At least it used to be. So and then
of course. Sorry, we are over time. So
and
as always.
Now just rambling. So collect your internet points. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some feedback. I really I want to know where we want to go with this show. So, that would be really good. We'll try to make sure we bring that up at the beginning of the episode next time. Sorry, JP Dade had a statement, but
you guys are talking about self-signed certificates. I have been fighting with doing that here for the internal certs we need. I should just put one up and do it in my R&D lab.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to just show the people that it's not broken.
Right. All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And tune in for the next show, which is starting soon.
Exactly.
Bye. Thank y'all. See you next time.